Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to episode 31 of Nariyama's Let's Play Minecraft version 1.12 featuring Direwolf 20's mod pack. So, we've come quite a ways. We've got our refined storage system up, we've got some auto crafting going over here. We've got a fairly good storage solution. Between episodes, I went ahead and added some storage upgrades to all these drawers so that they can store many more stacks of things. I also had to break and replace the external storage on this drawer controller because it wasn't seeing it. I'm not sure why. But regardless, got that stuff going. And I also made sort of a delivery chest. Now, we will be able to make wireless crafting grids at some point, but this isn't a bad idea in any respect, just because it's got some good stuff. It's got an importer on it. I stuck a stack upgrade and some speed upgrades in there, which were really easy to make after I made recipes for them. So I came over here and made some recipes for the for the upgrade, the stack upgrade, and the speed upgrade and stack upgrade, and those required me to know how to make sugar. So good stuff. At some point, we're going to need to automate the production of sugar, but not so much sugar, but sugar cane. But I think the next thing we're going to tackle is a little bit of little bit back towards the early mid game. So one of the things that, if you notice on my health bar here, I can't really show it unless I've got my inventory open. But on my health bar, I've got basically 7 extra hearts. But when I log in, I only have the full 10 hearts to start with. And so it starts eating food to heal me up to 7 additional hearts. Which means I'm going through my food supply at a very fast rate, because every time I exit and restart the game, I basically lose 7 hearts of life, and I have to eat to restore that. So I think what we're going to do for the next couple of episodes is get a overworld based setup that's going to be devoted to a few things. First and foremost, I shouldn't say foremost, but first is going to be devoted to making us some better food. And for that, we're going to use the mod Pam's Harvest Craft. So Pam's adds a whole bunch of additional foods, but some of them are freakishly good. So if you type in tier here, and the reason I use tier is because the description says top tier food. There looks like 7 foods that you can make that are all this top tier food, always edible, buffs the player. And the one I think we're going to go for here, well, there were a couple that I was looking at, is the corned beef breakfast. Now this is not trivial to make. You either need a good supply of eggs or a good supply of tofu. And then for the corned beef, similarly, you need either a good supply of beef or, tofu, right? Plus mushrooms of any sort, pepper, soy sauce, which is just soybeans, salt, some other things. This is a complicated recipe to make, and to make it in an automated way will be challenging, but I think we can do it. It requires a bunch of different vegetables and stuff, so we're going to have to get that. Butter is going to require either cream or tofu. So as you can see, we're going to be using a bunch of tofu. But once we get this going, and I think there's also pizzas that you can make that are also really good. That's interesting. Why didn't it show me the Meat Feast pizza as a top tier food? Did it? Did I just miss it? Oh yeah, right there. Duh. This is another fun one to make sometimes. Again, you need some proteins that you can either substitute tofu for. So I'm pretty sure all the proteins you can substitute some tofu recipe for, but it's still not trivial. So I mean, you gotta go through the motions there. Pizzas, tomatoes, again, pork, cheese, etc., or pepperoni. pepperoni. Pepperoni is, again, pork. So, like I said, all these are fairly complex recipes, and it's going to take, a bunch of different steps, but I'm pretty sure we can get there. And the intermediate steps are pretty good too. So, the other thing that's going to have us do is it's going to have us make some stuff in immersive engineering, which I really like to sort of introduce because it's a really neat mod with lots of multi-block structures, and it has some really cool stuff in it. The power system is okay. I mean, really, nothing is better than the Draconic power system, in my opinion. But an argument could be made for Flex networks. But I mean, the Draconic just looks so nice. I always really liked it, and it's not too hard to get into. You do need some draconium and some diamonds, but other than that, it's pretty easy. So, what was I talking about? Oh, immersive engineering. Okay, so we're going to kind of get started in this. You'll notice I've got some stuff lined up for us. The things that we're going to need from immersive to start with are the garden cloches. Now, these are a way of basically rapidly growing any type of a specific crop. And what it does is it grows the crop really quickly and then outputs it, and it regrows continuously, basically. You can feed it fertilizer to speed it up even more. I generally don't do that. It's pretty quick as it is, so I don't think it's necessary to do that. We could do some stuff with astral sorcery rituals like we've done before, but we've gone quite a ways into astral. I'd like to showcase some other stuff here. So the first thing we're going to need to make, though, for all this is the market, because it will show us, or it'll let us get the different plants that we're going to need. So, and we'll be able to trade for them using emeralds, which is pretty cool. The other items I have up here is a chunk loader and an ender pouch. So this is going to be our way of getting stuff into the little import chest over there. And I'm also going to show a way to sort of store important items that you want to be able to access even if you get killed. And you can do that using ender pouches. So this is kind of the list of stuff for this episode, and we'll get started on that. So first I want to do the ender pouch. So let's go over here. So an ender pouch is very similar to the ender chest recipe. Instead of using blaze rods, it uses blaze powder. Instead of using obsidian, it uses leather. And then of course the ender pearl and the wool. So we'll go ahead and grab one of those. And the other thing we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna change one up and have it be light blue, light blue, light blue for its code. Now, why do we want a separate one when we don't have a chest here? Interestingly enough, even if you don't have a chest, you can still put stuff in it, right? So there we go. I've got my thing. If I open that back up, here it comes, right? If I had a chest that had the light blue, light blue, light blue pattern, I could pull that out as well. But what's nice is what this means is I could make some really important things, like say an advanced charge porter that I could put into an ender pouch like this and just have it in a chest next to my bed. That way, if I were to die, I could still teleport back to the nether base here without having to go through the portal or anything like that. Now, it's not as much of a big deal anymore because of the fact that we have creative mode flight, even if we don't have an angel ring, but it's still nice to be able to put some sort of emergency items together in a place that's not going to get left on your corpse, right? So that's the key here. If I die with this ender pouch on me, I can open another ender pouch that has the same code on it, and it will work, right? And I'm actually not going to have this on me. I'm going to put the important items in here and then stick it, like I said, in a chest next to my spawn point. That way, I can just pull this out, grab the stuff out of it, come in here, get any additional, supplies I need, and then go get my corpse. Anyway, all right, so let's show how this works. So we open this up. Let's say we had a bunch of stuff that we wanted to put away. Just say a stack of lapis for whatever reason. See, it gets pulled out, and now it's back in here. Yay. All right. And what's nice is because it gets pulled out through the importer there, let me run over here and show that. Because it gets pulled out through this importer, it's going to be put in the network in the highest priority place, which means we should see that this has 444 lapis. It did not go into any of the drives. So good stuff. All right, so we got an ender pouch. Let's look at making the market. I did do the chunk loader here. We're going to make that in a second, but let's look at making the market. What do we need? We need some wool, we need an emerald, we need some wood. So I think we have all those things. Let's grab this. This is a really neat little tool. And in fact, I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to put it down in the first floor here because I think it belongs more down here. So if you open this up, you can basically pick a bunch of stuff. I'm going backwards here, but you can cycle through the different seeds in Pam's Harvestcraft. Also, vanilla Minecraft. It may pull out things from other mods. I'm not sure, as long as it has like the seed tag. Maybe, I don't know. But for example, we need tofu. Or not tofu, soy. I might have gone past it actually. Candleberry, beet seed. So I'm not going to do this on camera. But anyway, you can use that to get a bunch of different seeds. You can also use it to get saplings. So let me kind of fast forward here. Wow. What was that? Ooh, we are going to need one of those, but good to know that it looks different so that it's easy to spot. All right. So here's the other sort of seeds. Now we can get like different fruit trees. Normally, so if I dang, I can't open JEI through there, but normally you have to have the fruit to make these, but in this case you can just get them here. This is going to be important because I think one of the things we need is cinnamon, and it looks like there's no way to just get cinnamon other than surrounding a sapling with cinnamon, which you need cinnamon to do. There we go. There's the cinnamon sapling. So we'll grab that, and that'll be part of the materials we get. But anyway, first let's go and make a chunk loader. So one of the problems that we're running into, if I open up my claim chunks, I am almost maxed out for claim chunks. Now, the FTB utilities claiming mechanism is really nice. Lets you chunk load spots that you've claimed. It does limit the number of chunks you can do that way. But the other thing it does is it prevents other mob effects from breaking your blocks. This can be abused a bit. For example, you could use this to kill the wither and have it not. You could make a wither enclosure out of whatever you want, as long as the spot was claimed. I think it can't blow up the blocks. I may be wrong about that. There may be an exception for the wither in there, just so that you don't abuse that. I'm not sure. We could test it at some point, though. But anyway, it is nice down here in the nether because, like, the gassed fireballs, right? If a gas fireball hits my tower, it's not going to blow up the glass. It's not going to blow up the sandstone, all that other stuff. It's not going to blow that stuff up, which is really nice because I'd hate to have all of the hard work that I've done to put this together, get blown up easily. So that's really nice for FTB utilities, but like I said, it's limited. So what we can do is we can create this thing called a chunk, the Chicken Chunks chunk loader. Say that 10 times fast. Which takes an enchantment table, which is pretty easy. Grab some gold in the enchantment table and an ender pearl, and you get a chunk loader. Now, where we're going to put this in the overworld. And the reason we're going to put this in the overworld base is because the overworld base is already protected from mob spawn, so it doesn't need the claim chunks part to protect it, right? So what we'll do is we'll unclaim those chunks, and I'm out of saturation here. We'll unclaim those chunks, and we'll just head to, or we'll put the chunk loader down. And I'll show you how that works. It's really neat. You can claim a lot of chunks with this thing. So we'll put it kind of central in the area. So if we open up our little claim chunks area, this looks about the center. 1, 2, okay. So How about right on top of you? That works. All right. So this will claim a total of 9 chunks with a radius of 2. If we up it to a radius of 3, we'll do that. And one of the cool things is you can show the lasers. So this is sort of showing you where the center of the whole pattern is. And again, if I pull open my claim thing, we'll see basically it's going to be, whoops, sorry. It's basically chunk loading that area, right? Which is great. That's more than enough, more than what we need. You can also have it do a line instead of a square, and I think you can have it do a circle instead of a square as well. But I like the square. That works for me. We'll just unclaim all those chunks, and now notice we have a bunch of chunks that we can load using FTB utilities again, without having to do any of this. So let's hide the lasers. Like I said, square, circle, line. I'm curious what the circle is. Show lasers. Alright, so it's a circular pattern around here. My guess is it cuts the corners, so the square is 25 chunks. This is saying it's 13 chunks, so let's see. We can probably figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 would be my guess. Probably. So, I mean, we're missing some of the pieces we'd want to have loaded, so I don't think we're going to do that, but that's okay. Alright, whoops. I saw that rogue chunk. There we go. Okay. So let's go back to square. Alright. 25 chunks looks good. Cool. And that'll keep those chunks loaded for us, just like the FTB utils one did. Alright. So we're moving right along. So now we need an area that we want to build a kind of like a farm and food production area. I was thinking over here, but I'm not sure if there's enough flat area over here. It's kind of hilly, lots of trees. I don't mind cutting down the trees, but it's more the hilliness that bugs me. So give me a second here. I'm gonna kind of fly around and see if there's a spot that I'd like to put this at. Be right back. All right, we're back. So there are a couple of other considerations other than just the hilliness and flatness. That is the fact that we'd kind of like to still be within range of our Lucerna ritual over there. So this spot looks fairly good, actually. It is a little hilly, and I may have to flatten it out a bit, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. So why don't I clear out an area here, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. So as you can see, I've cleared out all the trees here. There's still a bunch of ground cover that we're going to need to clear out, and to do that I'm going to kind of introduce an item from a mod we haven't talked about much yet, Botania, other than mentioning it with some of the wood that Botania had, or not wood, tools that Botania adds. But so Botania has some really nice stuff. A lot of people call it a magic mod. Technically, it's not a magic mod. It's a technology mod that uses flowers. So for those of us who are hippies, flower power. But anyway, Botania actually is much more like a technology mod than a magic mod. There are a couple things on it that are a little magic-like, but mostly it's like power transmission and tools and ritual stuff that is very much like other technology mods. So that's a personal opinion, so feel free to disagree with me on that. But anyway, Botania. So one of the very early items in Botania that gets added is, if we do at Botania, now there's tons of stuff in Botania, but the Horn of the Wild. So this thing, it's pretty easy. Pasture seeds are just grass in a mana pool to get pasture seeds, and the Horn of the Wild is just living wood around one of those. So we are going to need to make some mana. Luckily, making mana is not terribly hard, and we actually have most of the things we need right here. So we're going to need some red flowers. We're going to need some brown flowers, which I saw somewhere around here. There's one. Yeah. We're going to need some light gray, so that one might be a little bit harder to find. Give me a second to go and find some light gray flowers, and I'll be right back. Here we are, light gray flowers, not too far away. Awesome. Now, I do want to grab that big brown flower there because... Whoops, wrong one. Oops. So you can use shears to cut down or to harvest the large flower things. So if I come back here, I'm sure there was a red or there we go. There's a dark gray, a large one. So if you break those without a shears, you don't get them. But if you break them with the shears, you get them. So there we go. All right. So we've got some Botania flowers. Great. We actually need to find some white ones, but I think I found some white ones before. So let's go back to the Nether and see if we have some in the refined storage system. So this is morphing into a intro to Botania episode because it is going to take a little bit of time to get all this stuff set up. But that Horn of the Wild's really nice, and it's either that or spend 20 minutes clearing out all that grass, which is annoying. So let's see what we have from Botania here. Whoops, wrong thing. Hit F12 instead of backspace. At Botania, there we go. Alright, well, we don't have any white flowers, so let's go find some white flowers. I will be right back. By the way, don't be fooled by other white flowers. These are not the white flowers we are looking for. We're looking for the mystical white flowers. They look kind of like little like droopy white flower things. I don't know how else to describe them, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I still haven't found any white mystical flowers, but I did find this. So if we look at my map, I am a ways southwest of the base. Pretty goodly ways. There's the base. More like due south. This is a Thaumcraft little dungeon. There's a skeleton and a zombie spawner in here, and you know, lots of critters to kill. So, oh hey, a spider evidently. Hello, goodbye. So if you are looking for a zombie or skeleton spawner, this is a great place to look. Oh, hey, look, there's some items that we could just send back to the base. So, so I picked up some rose bushes and some dandelions. What I'm going to do with these is I'm basically going to make some stuff that will spawn Botania flowers for us. So I'm just going to put all this stuff away. Ooh, juniper, cool. Juniper sapling. Light gray flowers, yay. Light blue dye, V-shroom. Don't need the eggs. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what's down here, first of all. One of these is trapped, if I remember correctly. But, anything in here that we need? Doesn't look like it. That'll make diamonds for us if we grind it up, but... Hey, some goodies. Alright. Let's head out. So those are kind of fun to find. I'm going to go ahead and just make up that fertilizer and the floral fertilizer and do this that way because I don't want to waste all my time finding stuff. And it's good to sort of show how this is made. So if you are having trouble finding Botania flowers, which spawn in all the different like wooded biomes, by the way, you can make this stuff called floral fertilizer, I think. Yeah, floral fertilizer. So It takes any sort of floral powder plus bone meal, or dandelion yellow plus rose red. So that's what we're going to use. Let's show our rose. So if we grind up the roses, I think we get the most stuff out of them. Right? Yeah. Get lots of rose red there. Do the same thing with the dandelion, although we don't want to use all of our dandelions. So let's stick like 2 of them back in there. We're going to need the dandelion yellow, believe it or not. So one of the things we're going to make is we're going to put some dandelions in a cloche so that we grow as many dandelions as we need. Alright, let's make this floral fertilizer for us, shall we? Floral fertilizer. By the way, what's really neat about the floral powders, so the way you make these is you basically take a petal from Botania and a pestle and mortar, and that makes the floral powder. And what's nice about these, they all work as dyes. So there are 16 different colors of flowers, one corresponding to each of the different colors of dye in Minecraft, and you can use these floral powders as dyes. So if you wanted to dye something, cyan, you could do that with the cyan powder. And anything that needs cyan dye, you could use this to make as well, which is pretty nice. All right, let's just get like 8 of these. All we need to do is find one flower, by the way, because there's this cool thing, bone. We have like 2,000 bones. We're going to grind up some of those bones into bone meal. There we go. Bone meal. So one of the things you can do with petals is you can plant them and then grow them with bone meal, and that will make you the tall flowers, which is one way to basically make as many petals as you need of a particular color. As long as you have at least one, you're good. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make some mana steel shears because they don't break easily as long as you have mana. Now we don't have mana, so these are still going to break, but they're a little bit better than regular shears. Okay. Let's head back. And hey, it's nighttime. Let's go ahead and sleep. So I think what we'll do for the rest of the episode is show the sort of initial Botania setup. And do I have a bucket? Of course I don't, because that would be useful. Okay. Let's get a bucket. Everything else I have, or I need, I can make, but I don't want to have to find some iron, so there we go. Bucket. Done. Sorry, I try to sort of plan out each episode to really make sure that I cover the stuff that I want to get to, and I didn't think about the Botania stuff this time, but that's okay. All right, so Botania. Let's by hand clear out some of this stuff here. You can see why I don't want to do this by hand for this entire area. Anyway, all right. So let's get our floral fertilizer. We just use this and kind of like bone meal. So I don't know if you know that you can do this, but if you right-click bone meal on grass, it spawns long grass and flowers, right? Any of the vanilla flowers. So that's one way to get some grass if you're looking like, hey, you need some vanilla seeds or something. That's one way to do it. Floral fertilizer works the same way, except it spawns Botania flowers. And hey, look, there's the flower we needed. So we're good. So as I mentioned, what you can do with Botania flowers, so all the flowers you can just turn into petals, right? For Botania at least. And you know what? I didn't. I put the other flowers I needed away. Oh well. We'll go back and get them. But then if you plant the petals, you can hit them with bone meal, and they turn into the tall flowers. So I had 2 small flowers turn into 4 tall flowers. And the tall flowers give 4 petals each. So now we're up to 16. You can see how this is getting more. Right, so... oops. And now we can just hit all this with bone meal. And I did this in a really weird pattern, so I'm not sure why, but there we go. Okay, so now we have lots of white petals. And I mean, you can basically do this ad nauseum. So, you know, as much Botania petals as you want, you can create that way. All right, let's see really quickly. Let's see if we get the right petals that or the right flowers that we need without going back, because I just don't want to go back. There's light gray. We get a red. I think there's a red around here as well. I just need a brown. Brown, anyone? Brown? There's a red. There's a light gray. Doesn't look like I got a brown. That's okay. It was worth a shot. Alright, let's put some stuff away that's not things we're going to need later. Seed hops. Okay. Ender pearls. Good to go. Alright, so we don't need the red and... yeah, we do. I'll go back and get it. Because it's how we generate mana. So Botania basically revolves around this resource called mana. And there are a bunch of different flowers that generate mana. One of the flowers that generates mana generates it just like a furnace would by consuming anything that's burnable. So we'll grab that. Brown, there we go. And we want our light blue, we want our purple. Okay. And then once you have those flowers that generate mana, you need to collect the mana somewhere. So you do that in a mana pool. But before you can do that, you need living wood and living rock. And living wood and living rock are made by those white flowers that I was telling about. So, is there anything else I need? I mean, I need cobble, but I've got that in my thing there. I can make a... Yeah, let's grab a crate quickly, because that would be nice to sort of store everything in. All right, let's head back. And let's make some magic. I know I just said that this isn't a magic mod, it's a tech mod. Alright, so first let's plop our crate down. And let's make ourselves a I might have a crafting table in here actually. Hey, 4 of them. Probably more than I need. There we go. Throw that in there. Alright, let's throw all the Botania stuff in here for now. So I don't know if I have all the flowers. If I don't and I need more, I can always make more of that floral fertilizer. So no big deal. I know I have the ones that I need. So I need a mystical brown, a mystical red, and a mystical light gray. There we go. And of course, the white ones, which we've already seen. I'll go ahead and turn that into petals, so petals stack just like the flowers do. You can really just store the petals if you prefer. And actually, I'll show you a kind of neat way to do that probably in an episode or 2. All right, first I'm going to make some more of these red, gray, and brown flowers, and I'll be right back after I'm done with that. Okay, I'm back. So you can see I made a bunch of mystical red, bunch of mystical light gray, bunch of mystical brown. So we need about twice as much brown as gray and red. That's why that's like that. And we are going to need some of these white ones. So the manual for Botania is the Lexica Botania. This is a really well organized book. It's really nice. You can page through the pages there. You can, go to the index, all that good stuff. So Don't need that. But basically, these are the different categories. Now, there is another version of this book, and we'll get to that here in a second. But this is basically going to show you all the different things that Botania can do for you, and there's a whole lot. The stuff we're interested in right now is the basics and mechanics. So we need a petal apothecary, right? And that's this thing. And it tells you how to make it. Basically, you need 2 cobblestone slabs and a bunch of cobblestone and any petal. And let's go, actually, we can just teleport. And 2 seconds later, yay. Doesn't really matter, I could have done that at night, but, it's just nice to have the sun up. The reason I could have done that at night is because I've completely disabled mob spawn in this area, so yay. Alright. So petal apothecary. What we need is some cobble and a petal. Any petal will do. There's the cobble. There's the slabs. 1, 2, whoops. 3, 4, 5. And a petal. Awesome. Okay. The other thing we're going to need is an infinite water source. So I'll stick the petal apothecary there. Luckily, we got some water right nearby. Right over here. I'll just bring that over here. Throw that. Oops. Boy, monk is fun, but every once in a while it can be a bit annoying. It is possible to pipe into the petal apothecary, so at some point we'll automate this process. But to get everything started, we really don't need to do that much here. So grab a bucket of water, stick it in there, and the first things we're going to want are some daisies, which are just 4 white petals. Notice it also needs a seed. Boy, I wish I had kept those seeds. Now. Have I gotten any? Yes, I got 2. And 2 is basically what I want, so we're good. All right. So 4 white petals plus a seed in the petal apothecary is going to give me a pure daisy. Really cool. All right. One of the other things you can do is once you have water back in here, if you click it with an empty hand, it puts the previous recipe in for you. So since I had 4 white petals in my inventory, I was able to do that. Throw the seed in there again, and we get our second daisy. Now, what we're going to use these for is to make pure wood and pure, living wood and living rock. Now, this is where that exchanging gadget comes in really handy. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take some wood out of here. Where's my wood? That's rubber, other stuff. It has to be vanilla type of wood, but it can be any vanilla type of wood. So, do I have spruce? Yeah, okay. I just missed it somehow. There we go. Spruce, right? So we have tons and tons of spruce. It takes precisely 1 minute for this to change. Now, if you recall, I'm going to grab my exchanging gadget here. We're just going to right click on that. Make the tool range 7, so it should cover everything here, right? Yeah, okay. Now, like I said, if you recall, the exchanging gadget will exchange any type of material for the thing that you told it. So I basically told it I want wood. I want to exchange stuff for wood. And what will happen is when this turns into living wood, I'll just whack it with the exchanging gadget, and it will basically harvest all of the living wood and put wood back down, which is really cool. So we're going to do the same thing with stone here in a second. So let's get a bit of stone out. Okay, and you'll notice it's actually changing in the same pattern that I put it down in. I'm going to put a piece of stone like right there. Okay. Probably a piece of wood too. Why not? Oops. Okay. So now hit that and poof, wood again. Perfect. And we have some living wood. All right, so what we're going to do with this is we are going to make some twigs. We need 3 specifically. And then we need some petals. Let's go ahead and just use a couple of red. That's fine. Whatever color petals you get will give you the same color on your wand of the forest. I'm not too sure why Vasky did this, because one of the problems is you need an item for each of those combinations, which means there, I think in JEI there are 256 different wands of the forest. Oh no, okay, it doesn't show up in JEI, thank goodness. But yeah, you could see where that would be a problem. All right. Oh no, it is up. Yeah, so you got all these different wands of the forest, right? Like, it really didn't need to do that, but that's okay. Anyway. All right, let's get some living stone now, or living rock. All right, and as soon as that changes, we'll be able to get started here. But we need gold. I need gold. Not okay. Okay. I need to really quickly head back to the nether while that's swapping out. Let's go grab our a stack of gold because we need gold for the little mana shooter things. All right, back. That was dumb. I'm gonna need some other stuff too. Duh. I'm gonna need diamonds. I'm gonna need iron. So, you know, Botania is built, you know, assuming that you're vanilla plus Botania. So it uses the metals from vanilla Minecraft, and the gems and stuff like that. We will need a stack of ender pearls, a half a stack of diamonds. That should be enough. Okay, now let's go back. We'll put all this stuff in the thing there, the crate. Alright, I am probably way over for this episode, but I do want to show this one last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. So, there we go. There's a really cool trick, by the way. Loving the exchanging gadget. Alright, so this will get us a mana pool. This, and again, it uses any petal you want. We're pretty much done with white petals, so I'm good with that. Mana spreader, okay. Don't need these anymore. Get rid of some of this stuff. Probably don't need that anymore for now. All right. So let's show how this works. We need a mana pool. And we need a mana spreader. So what the mana spreader is going to do is anything that generates mana around it, it's going to gather it and shoot it out the front. So if we look at this, right, it's showing us where it's going. And it tells us that it's shooting into the mana pool. Now, it's not deliberately linked there. And if you'll notice, this says it has 2 different modes. So bind mode and function mode. Function mode basically changes the function. So this says take anything that has mana and put it in the pool. This says take anything that, whoops, there we go. This says, you know, take everything from the pool and put it in items, right? So, I mean, there's ways to change that, right? Then if we go back to bind mode, this will actually bind it. So if we take this and click there, it is technically binding it to the mana pool. Now notice it kind of focused downward a little bit and it's going right into the face of the mana pool. That just, you know, is a little bit of a better way of showing that and showing that it's bound there. All right, so let's grab those petals. Oh, I should have grabbed seeds while I was there. Be right back. Okay, we'll just pretend that I got that all in the first run. So let's go ahead and grab the petals that we need and all the other stuff and make those flowers. So what we're making is we're making, I can't remember the name of the flower. I don't have my book on. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. So if we go in here, basics, so we want generating flora. Endoflame, there we go. Endoflame, like I said, it basically takes anything that can burn. So let's throw this stuff up here. Let's throw these in our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, Endoflame. And all we need now is a seed and a bucket. So seed, we're going to make 8 of these. Two, 3, 4. I know this is riveting stuff, right? Is that 8? That's 8. Okay. I actually do want to do this in the dark because I think it looks better in the dark. Let's plant all of these. Now, what's interesting, if there is something that it can send its mana to, it will automatically bind there. So if we look at this, notice how the Endoflame shows a little check mark with a mana spreader, and when I mouse over the Endoflame, you can see the mana spreader is highlighted, right? So that's just telling you that those are bound together. So if I feed something to the Endoflame, it will go to that mana spreader. Let's grab some coal. Normally I'd use charcoal, but I mean, we have coal for days, so no worries. Dyer showed off a really compact way to automate this, which I will use here in a little bit, but not this episode. So there we go. I think we're going to tell it not, or tell my magnet not to pick up a coal block. There we go. E. Pull out my magnet. Add coal blocks to the filter there. All right. Cool. That'll just mean that I can run past it and won't pick it up. All right, cool. So now we're getting mana. Now, if you recall, what we needed that mana for, whoops, give me that shears back, was simply to make a pasture seed. So what we're going to do is we're going to toss this in the mana pool and we get a pasture seed. Take that plus some living wood. I'm trying to go quickly here because I know I'm over, but that's okay. And here we go, we have the Horn of the Wild. So I am going to go back and sleep really fast because this is much better to see in the daytime. All right. So let's go show off the Horn of the Wild. First, I'm going to put everything else away because I'm going to get a ton of stuff in my inventory here in a second. So let's throw these in here, those in there. Sure. All the tools back in the tool thing. And we'll throw all this stuff in. Actually, there we go. We'll throw this stuff in. Whoops, not you. You're coming with me. In here. Bucket can go in the tools. Electric Botania can go in the tools. And here we go. Okay. So, Horn of the Wild. Everyone ready for this? I know I've been hyping it, right? So much better. Okay. So I realized that this is probably a little loud with the breaking of all the grass and stuff. But you get the point, right? I'm basically able to harvest all of the grass and clear away the grass and like Pam's stuff in a very wide range around me very quickly. So yeah, great little tool here. And in fact, if you are making a base in the overworld, this is one of the first things I suggest making. So we needed what, a piece of gold, some cobble, and some seeds to make this item, basically. So I mean, certainly not a late game only kind of thing. And with it, you can basically clear out a very large area and get all the stuff that you need, or basically get all like the seeds and stuff that you need. So, all right. So what do we get? We got a ton of stuff. Let's pull out our ender pouch. I'm actually going to put the seeds in here, the vanilla seeds, because we can use those. Everything else, I think, is just going to go in the AE system. All right. So, whoops, wrong one. There we go. And the chest will clear it out, and everything will be good. Sweet. See how fast that was? All right. All right, folks. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I'll run around and gather up all the remaining little pieces I missed. And I will catch you in the next episode where we'll flatten this out and start building up a little food production farm. So we didn't get to the immersive engineering stuff this episode, but that's okay. We'll hit it next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.